Hello everyone, welcome to Election Night 2020. Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders versus Elizabeth Warren, a matchup that was always meant to be, with an independent Bernie Sanders running with a vice presidential candidate that identifies as a Democrat, versus Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker versus Donald Trump, the incumbent president, and the incumbent vice president, Mike Pence. Let's move on to the polling data. Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders versus Elizabeth Warren. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about Bernie Sanders splitting away from the party vote, so we'll look through that now. The national, Warren plus 0.3. This is very good news for the Warren campaign, considering the fact that Bernie Sanders has taken around 15% of the Democratic Party. The Rust Belt, Warren plus 3. Florida, Trump plus 5. Bad news for the Warren campaign and the Sanders campaign, but great news for the Trump campaign. Vermont, Sanders plus 19. And now let's move on to the electoral map polls. If all poll data was correct and gone through with today, Elizabeth Warren would win 275, with Trump at 254, with Sanders with non-electoral votes out of the states of Utah and Vermont. Now let's move on to the media predictions. CNN News, Warren with 210 electoral votes, Trump 325, Sanders with 3 from his lone state of Vermont. MSNBC News, Warren 274, Trump 261, Sanders again with Vermont. ABC News, Warren 245, Trump 290, Sanders with 3 again. Another consistent map, 232 for Warren, the same amount Hillary Clinton got, 303 for Trump, and 3 for Bernie Sanders. What I've noticed through all these maps is that they all give Sanders his home state of Vermont. It is now 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the states that are highlighted in purple are swing states. The state of Vermont is now projected to go to Bernie Sanders, the first time it going for an independent since the state's formation. Kentucky, 8 electoral votes, Bernie Sanders taking a sizable lead away from the Democratic Party here. Indiana, 11 electoral votes, Bernie Sanders again taking 24% of the vote here, with Elizabeth Warren at 20%, with Donald Trump at 56%. South Carolina, 56%, Elizabeth Warren 20% and 24%. It seems that these early voting numbers are very consistent, and the fact that they've all come through with hurting the Democratic Party, this does not spell out good news. In the state of Georgia, a very early call, Elizabeth Warren with 41% of the vote, Bernie Sanders with 9%, Donald Trump expected to win with 49% of the vote. The state of Virginia, a Clinton state from 2016, a flip, Elizabeth Warren with 34% of the vote, Bernie Sanders taking a very big lead away from the Democrats. The electoral map is on the screen now, 57 to 0 to 3, the first time a Democrat does not come up leading or above an independent, and the first time in many years. It is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and 3 new states' polls have closed. The state of West Virginia, 5 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump, Elizabeth Warren taking a mere 6% of the vote, with Bernie Sanders at 39%. The state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. And the state of Ohio is too close to call. The electoral map is on your screen now, 77 to 0 to 3. Again, Elizabeth Warren lacking behind everyone else. It is now 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the states on your left polls have closed. The state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders did not qualify for the ballot down here. The state of Mississippi, 6 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders did qualify for the ballot, but he is running in a write-in campaign down here. 1% of the vote. Missouri, 10 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders taking nearly 20% of the vote here. Tennessee, 11 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. The state of Maine, 1 out of its 4 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders doing a lot better than Elizabeth Warren in this state. Maine, 3 out of its 4 electoral votes projected to go to Bernie Sanders, with him winning 55% of the vote. Delaware, Elizabeth Warren's first win of this night, 3 electoral votes projected to go to her. Maryland, 10 electoral votes projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Massachusetts, her home state, 11 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders was kicked off the ballot after a ruling by the Massachusetts Supreme Court. Illinois, 20 electoral votes. Elizabeth Warren with 50% of the vote here. Bernie Sanders taking 30%, yet she's still expected to win. Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump only 10% behind. Washington, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump taking 8%. Bernie Sanders with 2. Elizabeth Warren carries the state heavily with 90% of the vote. Florida, 29 electoral votes, a very early call as soon as the polls are closed, with Bernie Sanders splitting the Democratic Party votes. It was not a swing state this election. Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes, a GOP state from 2016. Donald Trump expected to win with 50% of the vote. New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes, projected to go to Donald Trump. Connecticut, too close to call, a reliably Democratic state, with Bernie Sanders splitting the party vote here. New Jersey, too close to call, 14 electoral votes, Chris Christie's home state. The electoral map is on your screen now, 174 to 51 to 6. If this map isn't scaring all the Democrats around the country, it should be. It is now 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Arkansas, Hillary Clinton's home state. Arkansas, 6 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. All the states on your left have closed. The ones that are in purple are considered swing states. Arizona, a swing state, first off in the polls closing, going to Donald Trump with 50% of the vote. Colorado, 9 electoral votes, projected to go to Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders taking a sizable lead here over Elizabeth Warren, yet lacking behind Donald Trump. The state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes, projected to go to Donald Trump. The state of Louisiana, 55% of the vote here going to Donald Trump, 8 electoral votes. Nebraska, 5 out of its 5 electoral votes. There is no competition between each congressional district, all going for Donald Trump. North Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren tied here. South Dakota, Bernie Sanders taking 20% more than Elizabeth Warren, yet lacking behind Trump by 15%. Texas, 38 electoral votes, projected to go to Donald Trump, him lacking under 50%, meaning if Bernie Sanders had not ran, it is likely that Elizabeth Warren would have carried this state. Wyoming, 3 electoral votes, Elizabeth Warren taking a mere 5%, less than Trump took in D.C. Wyoming, again, sorry. Michigan, too close to call, Bernie Sanders taking 30% of the vote here, Elizabeth Warren 33, Trump 36. Minnesota, too close to call, 20% for Bernie Sanders, 33% for Elizabeth Warren, and 47% with Donald Trump. Wisconsin, too close to call, 30, 37, 23, respectively. Ohio, too close to call, Trump taking a 7% lead here, Bernie Sanders with 13% of the vote. New York, too close to call, 29 electoral votes, the home state of Donald Trump, very reliably Democrat, never too close to call unless it's this election. New Mexico, too close to call, huge Latino population here, Donald Trump with 39% of the vote, Elizabeth Warren with 40. Connecticut, too close to call, 7 electoral votes. New Jersey, too close to call again, another reliably Democratic state, this time Donald Trump taking the lead with 5% more than any other candidate. Breaking news, Bernie Sanders concedes the presidential race to Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders has called Trump and conceded the presidential election. The electoral map is on your screen now. Donald Trump with 266 out of 270 electoral votes, Elizabeth Warren with 51 out of 270, and Bernie Sanders with a mere 6. Breaking news, Donald Trump is 4 electoral votes away from being re-elected. As you can see on the previous map, Donald Trump can win any single one of these states that are gray and still win this election. That being if he does win in the House, which he most likely will. 9:42 p.m. Eastern Time, stand by for a major projection. Donald Trump has won re-election and won the presidency of the United States of America. Donald Trump has been re-elected President of the United States. Bernie Sanders taking 22% of the popular vote, Elizabeth Warren with 34%, and Donald Trump around 46%. As you can see on the final electoral map right there, Donald Trump with 273 electoral votes with our new call, with Warren at 51, with Bernie Sanders at 6. This call coming out of Connecticut, 7 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump, reliably Democrat. Remember Donald Trump was holding rallies here, along with Michigan and the Rust Belt. These were reliably Democratic states in 2016. It seems more reliably Democratic states are flipping to the Republican side. At 9:59 p.m. Eastern Time, Elizabeth Warren calls Trump to concede the presidential election. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 states on your left have closed. State of Iowa, 6 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. The state of Nevada, 6 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump as well. Utah, 6 electoral votes, Elizabeth Warren not even on the map here, Evan Golden with 30%, Bernie Sanders with 30%, Donald Trump with 40% of the vote here. Montana, 3 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders taking more than Elizabeth Warren here. New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. Very, very surprising. Chris Christie's home state, 44% of the vote here is going to Donald Trump. Elizabeth Warren with 33%, and Bernie Sanders with 23%. Ohio, 18 electoral votes. Donald Trump winning. If you add up Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's total, then Elizabeth Warren would have won this state. However, Bernie Sanders has split the party vote. New York, Elizabeth Warren's biggest victory this night already. 29 electoral votes projected to go to her, 40% of the vote here. Michigan, too close to call. Wisconsin, again, too close to call, 10% ahead for Donald Trump. New Mexico, too close to call. Minnesota, too close to call. The electoral map is on your screen now. 326 for Donald Trump, 80 for Elizabeth Warren, and 6 for Bernie Sanders. It is now 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the states on the western coast have closed. California, 55 electoral votes projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Idaho, 4 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. Elizabeth Warren taking a mere 9% of the vote here. Bernie Sanders with 41% of the vote. Hawaii, 4 electoral votes. Another win by Bernie Sanders, 55% of the vote here. Washington, too close to call. Bernie Sanders maintaining a very small lead. Oregon, too close to call. Bernie Sanders taking not a lead, but taking a higher lead than Elizabeth Warren is, with Donald Trump at 41%, Bernie at 30%, Elizabeth Warren at 29%. The electoral map is on your screen now with that one call for Elizabeth Warren in California, and the one call in Hawaii and Idaho. 330 for Trump, 135 for Elizabeth Warren, 10 electoral votes for Bernie Sanders. None of the maps from the media predictions were spot on, nor were the polls. It is now 12:31 a.m. Eastern Time. Stand by for many major projections. New Mexico, 5 electoral votes projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Michigan, 16 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump, another state that he won in 2016. Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. 44% of the vote here for him. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders tied. Minnesota, 10 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump, a flip from 2016. Oregon, 7 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump. He is the apparent winner here. In Washington, an interesting case here, Bernie Sanders won by 2% in the state of Washington, add 12 electoral votes to his total. The electoral map is on your screen now. We're waiting for one final state, the state of Alaska. 373 electoral votes for Donald Trump, 140 for Elizabeth Warren, and 22 for Bernie Sanders. 1 a.m. Eastern Time, the state of Alaska, 3 electoral votes projected to go to Donald Trump overwhelmingly. This is the chance of winning overnight. When we started off at 7 p.m., Elizabeth Warren had a clear advantage with 45%, Donald Trump at 40%, with Bernie Sanders a 15% chance of winning. Then when we moved on to 8 o'clock, Donald Trump spiked up, along with Bernie Sanders going down. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Elizabeth Warren dropped tremendously. Donald Trump spiked. And at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Donald Trump reached a 96% chance of winning when we called the race. However, there were still outlying counties that could have flipped if 100% of the votes went for Elizabeth Warren. By the time it reached 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Donald Trump secured the winner, and all other candidates had less than 1% chance of winning. Now let's talk about another person named Josh the Awesome. He has a very good channel. I suggest you guys check him out. I talked with him yesterday. He's a really cool guy, and he was one of the people who inspired me, along with Stellar, Spark, and Sam Political Commentary, to make these election nights. His election nights are very, very popular. They are very cool. You should go check them out. And yeah, so I just wanted you guys to see, I'm giving a shout out to him. Essentially, he's almost at 100 subscribers, so I suggest you guys go subscribe to him so that way he reaches there. And yeah, so just go check him out. I'll put his link in the description below. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.